on the effort from Popovich. Disarray abounding on that possession for Cardinal Stritch. Now the show and go by Cahoon and Presniakovis on the inside. Lawani cleans it up with the bucket. And just like that, Trinity has a 7-0 run, and they are out in front, 7-6. And it's been an impressive start from the Wolves here tonight. Shooting 60% from the field in the early going, and 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Here's Thomas looking to restore order. Quick give and go, now flips it out to Jaden Thomas. Jaden comes up short, rebound, wrestled free by Dooney. Popovich, good defense by Jaden Thomas, forcing the tip. And stifling defense now from Thomas. Flipped inside, and the persistence of Thomas and the good hands of Asher Blum forced the turnover. Now here's Keontae. He'll slow it down, quickly out to Jet Cahoon. Free to fire, but no good here. Cahoon with that quick trigger jumper. Now active hands from Xavier Cooper forcing the turnover. The Trojans clamping down on defense now. Can they get some offensive rhythm? Cahoon pulls up once more, no good. Tough start for the Trojans from long range. Thomas and Cahoon each missing a couple here. They will no doubt continue to shoot it, as will Popovich, though this one is no good. Quick pass inside, stolen away. Cardinal Stritch, they've got numbers. Ball fake and a finish on the inside by Gregory Wells. Popovich finally misses one. Here's Presniakovis working on the inside. Gets it to the wide open Keontae Thomas, and it is good from three-point land. Betzner and Stratton Lovorn. Here's Lovorn with a three. Nabil Kone with the rebound, and it is good on the second chance attempt. Nabil Kone showing what he can do for the Trojans. Here's DeMar Reed. He's been hot. Reed kicks it out. Long range effort, hit nothing from Tevin Dillon. Betzner out to Sufer, steps into a three, no good. Here goes Dillon, working against the freshman Cranbull. Now more freshman on freshman action. Betzner getting the stop against Mabry, but Mabry a second attempt. Free throw line J is on the money. And this one is all but over. Betzner will flip it across the midcourt stripe as time expires. This one is signed, sealed, and delivered. The Trojans get it done at Van Dixhorn tonight. So TIU found themselves down by a significant margin early in this contest, but they exploded out of that hole and find themselves winners tonight by a 20-point margin. Another offensive outburst from TIU. 93-73 is the final. A career evening for Diamond Presniakovis. He drops 25 points on 10 of 15 from the field. Keontae Thomas also with a terrific effort, 13 for him. And Xavier Cooper with a great all-around game, 7 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists. So it is all over from Van Dixhorn tonight. The Trojans snap a 2-game skid and get the victory behind the Herculean effort from Presniakovis. This is Ethan Oskroba saying so long. Thanks for hanging with us. The inbound flung toward the inside, and Reynolds. Now Graves, quick hitter out to Peck. Peck looking for Stegbauer on the inside. Strong hands from Stegbauer to hang on to it. Some confusion in the corner, but the Trojans work it free. Here's Peck, hoisting up a triple, off glass, and good! But I think Coach PA is willing to live with a little bit of that risk here for the Trojans to get ready-made buckets. As the great Babe Ruth once said, I hit big and I miss big. I like to live as big as I can, and that's the philosophy the Trojans are taking up here. Take it from one of the greatest hitters of all time. It's not a bad philosophy, I guess. And it's certainly led to quite a few scores from the Trojans. Here's Reynolds picking her way down court. Tries to fit it into Washington. Washington with the save. An acrobatic play, but it ends up in the hands of Bainey and the Tigers. Rollison to the inside, gets the foul against Geisler. By Swearingen. Now another three by Felder. He's lofted up a few so far. Cahoon gets ahead of the pack and gets the layup. 7 already for Jack Cahoon. What a start it's been for 22 in black. Cooper Katire take the lead. Dishes it inside to Lawani. A strong finish by Brendan Lawani. As this one eventually drops through the cylinder to tie things up at 11 apiece. Here is Olden. Olden with a little left-handed pitch shot, but it got nothing. Cahoon grabs the board. Thomas looking to go quickly, gets it out to Cooper. Cooper, hesitation, gets it inside. Cahoon, the extra pass to Presniakovis. Presniakovis runs into a wall on the inside. Seemed like some contact, but no foul called. Now Thomas with a great mid-air adjustment to get the steal. He kicks it out to Cooper. Cooper never saw the defender. Schmidt coming in from behind, but the Trojans get it back. Free to fire is Cahoon. He nails another one. 10 points for Jack Cahoon. A sizzling start for number 22 of the Trojans. The Trojans a team that's really fun to watch because they've got several players capable of handling a massive share of the ball like we've seen from Landon Felderer on the rival side for the Tigers. But the Trojans just don't go through one option entirely because they have so many talented players that really complement each other. And we've seen that in a huge way tonight. The question is, will it be enough? Can they hit one more scoring spree and make a game of it here in the final minutes? Monty Lambert will stay out there for the Trojans with most of the starters. Lambert earning himself some considerable opportunity here late. He's been outstanding tonight. In double figures for Trinity. Nice pass to the inside. Swearingen, the recipient of the dime, dropped by Tyler Schmidt. Here goes Monty Lambert. Looking to work some more of his magic. Gets it out to Cahoon. Lambert driving to the cup. Oh! And a pulverizing finish by Monty Lambert. Foul is going to be called against Cooper in the scramble for the ball, but my goodness, what a finish by Monty Lambert. We saw him rise up and nearly throw down an emphatic jam earlier this season. It ended up going through the bucket, but glanced off the rim first. That one was clean. It was beautiful. It was powerful. A highlight reel slam from Monty Lambert to punctuate a terrific night for him. No moments roll off of the scoreboard. The final will be Olivet 90, Trinity 74. But the Trojans with a gutsy effort that was closer than the final score would indicate against a ferocious and vaunted Olivet Nazarene squad. Well, not the result that TIU was looking for, but they put up a terrific fight tonight. Several great individual efforts. Jack Cahoon with 17 and 8 boards. Diamond Presniakovis had 15 points and 8 rebounds, though he did leave with that ankle injury late. That'll, of course, be something to keep an eye on as he's a pivotal player for the Trojans. Monty Lambert with 12 points, including that sensational jam late in the ballgame. And Keontae Thomas with another impressive effort, 8 points and 8 assists for Trinity. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. We are back here in Van Dixhorn Arena, and we're a little bit excited tonight, as is everybody out here, because it is postseason time, the CCAC quarterfinal match between the TIU Trojans and the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints. This is Ethan Oskroba. I'll be with you all night long alongside Seth Risky. Seth, this is going to be a good one tonight. What are the things you're looking for the Trojans to do to take this victory in the CCAC playoff? The Wisconsin native and senior Miscommunication from the Trojans, but stepping in, Gallegos to save the day. Here's Stephanie Woods punching it down, and Torres unable to handle it. That would have been a spectacular play by Brianna, but she couldn't quite make it. So the timeout paying off so far. St. Francis is even the reckoning at 22. And now this one sliced wide. A couple of service errors from these Fighting Saints really changing the proceedings here.
That is a costly serve for St. Francis. That is something you can't do. Tied up 22 apiece. That will come back to haunt her if the Trojans come away with this win.
Here's Skripchak up the gut. Set up for Woods, drifting away. Skripchak got a hand to it, but couldn't corral it. We're even at 23. It is back and forth, a couple of great teams at work. Couple of veteran coaches, Cara Courier and her over 20 seasons with them. As this one drifts wide, so the Trojans will score it.
Ethan, that's their third service error in a row.
Really making things difficult here for themselves, and the Trojans have got set point. Can they take advantage and finish things off? A bunch of the fans on their feet here in Van Dixhoorn Arena. Here comes Oliveira. It's blocked out in front. Anderson with the quick hands. Oliveira again, and it's down, and we're tied up. St. Francis showing off some resilience as we are knotted up at 24. Now we'll see if they can just get something over the net here.
Oliveira is such a tough player to block for the Trojans. If they give her more opportunities like that, it's going to be hard to stop her.
Freeman handles this one. Strip shot. Torres blasting away just wide. And it was not touched on its way over. Now set point for St. Francis. Timeout Trinity after a rare miscue from the all-world talent Brianna Torres. Yeah, every play, every little mistake magnified in the postseason, and especially with this opening set on the edge of a knife. It is terrific action right now. This has been a riveting first set of the contest.
No matter which team you're rooting for in this game, you are right, Ethan. You could not have asked for a better first set of one of the opening matches of the NCCAA playoffs.
Absolutely terrific energy from both these squads, from both these rival fan bases. We've seen these two tangle earlier this season. Can the Trojans fend off set point? Leah Talley, the crowd in full throat. Here's Skripchak setting up Torres, blasted away, and it's down!
Let's go!
Torres finding a way from the jaws of defeat. The Trojans have knotted it up again. Again, the resiliency from Brianna Torres. She makes a mistake. She comes right back and rights the wrong for TIU. Here goes Freeman with the lob. Anderson able to handle it. St. Francis on their heels here. That one drifting too far. The Trojans have the lead once again.
Jalen Freeman with an incredible serve puts St. Francis on their back foot, and they're not able to get back in it on that one.
Now can the Trojans claim the opening set? Here goes Freeman. Kneeling dig by Monfrey. Having it go Anderson, and it will make it to the floor. We are tied up at 26.
Both these teams playing their hearts out. Neither team wanting to lose this. Every team giving everything they got, knowing their season is on the line.
Here comes Stephanie Woods, and this one is a little bit too far. In fact, significantly too far. Another error as St. Francis is letting the Trojans stay in this one.
In basketball, that's known as an air ball. And volleyball, that's known as an overserve.
Well, whatever it is, it's a point for the Trojans in their third set point. Here comes Gallegos. Handled by Anderson. Back to Anderson. Rips it too far, and the Trojans win set one.
Let's go!
Oh, my goodness.
What a first set!
That was outstanding. Both teams showing what they can do, but the Trojans eventually just showing their resilience, their grit and toughness that has characterized their season, and set one belongs to Trinity. Here goes Torres. with the players in the crowd chanting her name. Miscommunication. Leia Talley finds a way to get it back over. Gallegos has the dig and now mishandled by Acosta. A double touch called on the freshman, so Coach Ward turning to the first-year player, and she makes the blunder here. That gives St. Francis set point.
She will stay in, though. The confidence that Coach Ward and the rest of her team has in her is immense right now.
Absolutely, and she's proven it all season long. She's a great player. Trying to set up Vujosevic. She responded nicely there, but it's blocked. Another set to Vujosevic. They managed to keep it alive. Anderson, Freeman, diving, somehow fisted over by Acosta. My goodness. Still we play on. Torres blasting away. Monfrey kneeling for it. Here comes Anderson, handled by Gallegos. In front! Acosta! Wow! It's set point for St. Francis. The team's leading killer, Anderson, fires it over. Skimming the top of the net. Here's Romero, handled by Monfrey. Oliveira. Torres has got it. Acosta setting up Lana Vujosevic. Yes! And it's going to be finished off, as Monfrey could not quite handle it cleanly. So we are tied up now at 27 apiece. This is unfathomable action. Now one of the Trojan students running with the Trojan flag. That's Lance Powell. Hey, a true Trinity superfan. He's just sprinting around with the flag. What an atmosphere. And now this one is overcooked. But there's a violation. Outer rotation is going to be called on St. Francis. And so Skripchak made the service error, but it goes over. But St. Francis out of rotation. What a gift for the Trojans.
Wow, what a costly mistake made by St. Francis late in the game. Don't know what happened there.
I mean, I'm almost left speechless by that moment. That's not a good quality when you're a commentator, right? That is crazy.
Never seen that happen late in this game.
Well, here's Skripchak with another chance. She lobs it over. Set point for Trinity. Can they finish it? Skripchak has the dig. Freeman for Torres from long range. Oliveira lunging for it. Now this one battered down. Skripchak has it, but it flies over the Trojan bench and into the seats. 28 apiece. This is just unbelievable action right now.
Could not ask for a better game.
This may have topped the first set even. Here's Skripchak for Romero, right on the back line. Romero! Right on the back line, the freshman answers once again.
Both these teams not wanting their playoff run to end. Both teams fighting tooth and nail for the win.
Here is Vujosevic, the Trojans' leader in service aces, trying to finish it off. And that's right in there! It's been pointed! Oh my goodness! Another service ace from Vujosevic!
No way! This run ends on a service ace!
Oh my goodness, well she's done it all year for these Trojans, so it should come as no surprise, but I am still shocked at that finish. What a thrilling set. 30-28, the Trojans come out on top. Now Skripchak with the laser beam. The Trojans trying to finish it off. Here's Woods. Great effort by Skripchak. Now Torres to try and finish it. St. Francis fighting to try to stay alive. Freeman has the dig out in front for Woods, who calmly puts it down. Stephanie Woods with some ice in her veins, managing to keep the Fighting Saints alive. Now it's up to Hannah Pacheco to serve it. A lot of pressure on her. Another service error could end it. Freeman, Skripchak. There goes Romero, handled by Monfrey. Oliveira. Good work by Keltner. Torres, a great effort. Now this one slammed down in front by the freshman Romero again. Here's Vujosevic. Anderson. Not a great strike there by Oliveira. Here comes Torres. We are still going. St. Francis does not want to go away. Freeman for Keltner. And it's through! It's over! It's all over. The Trojans storming the court. Oh my gosh. Halsey Keltner stepping up. She hadn't done much for the Trojans all afternoon, but she's called on in the biggest moment and batters it through the block. The Trojans have won.
What an effort by this Trojan team.
That was just an unbelievable match from start to finish. Tremendous atmosphere. Every one of these sets incredibly close. It will go down as a straight sets victory, but this St. Francis team showed a lot of heart, and they were terrific tonight as well.
Trojans with this win will go on to face St. Xavier, who they beat last week, and that will be the matchup of the century as both those teams from Chicago face off.
Absolutely, another great and storied rivalry there coming up. St. Xavier and the Trojans split their 2 matches this season. The rubber match will decide who gets to fight for a CCAC title.
But looking at this match a little closer, Lana Vujocevic having 16 kills, followed by Torres with 13, Teresa Romero with 10, Madison Williams with 6, Anna Skripchak has 2 kills. Halsey Keltner with that last one will pick up her first.
Absolutely. Some Trojan legends cemented their legacy tonight, and some stars have emerged right before our very eyes. A terrific contest. St. Francis very resilient. They were outstanding, but ultimately the Trojans were just too much. They win and advance to the semifinals in straight set. All righty, folks. Well, welcome aboard, and we have got a good one tonight. We've got Seth Risky up here with us. My name is Ethan Oskroba, and we will be taking you through all the senior day action. Should be a great one between the Trojans of Trinity International and the Lakers of Roosevelt University. You've got Roosevelt coming in at 6-19 this year. It has not been the campaign they've been looking for. The Trojans on a 2-game win streak in a very strong season. Seth, what are some of the things you're looking for in this matchup tonight?
I think for the Trojans, this is just a moment where they really want to finish strong in the season. In this last home game, celebrating the seniors, this is a game where I really just want to see some of these seniors have a great time, have some fun, but also just do what they've been doing all season. Not the start the Trojans are looking for as Lana Vujocevic serves that one out. But the Trojans have been, when they've been consistent and when they've been communicating as a team, have been a phenomenal team all season, so that's something I'd love to see.
Absolutely. It has been a terrific year for this club. They find themselves down 1-0 here, as it's going to be Caterina Calabrese checking in to serve for Roosevelt. She hammers this one down the middle. Brianna Torres has the dig. Here's Skripchak setting up the freshman Romero out in front, handled by Roosevelt. Pop back over, Freeman with the dig. Here comes Nadia Wheeler queuing it up and just a little bit wide. We've seen Wheeler at times be a little bit inconsistent, but she has got tremendous power and brings a lot to this Trojan team out on the edge.
It's a great job there by the Roosevelt blockers, not touching that one as it goes out, because that was what Wheeler was going for.
Yep, the Trojans will take that one there. A little bit of good fortune for TIU as Calabrese hits that one errantly and into the twine. So the Trojans on the board, and here is Jalen Freeman, the fifth-year Trojan, native of Alabama, the libero tonight. This one is blocked down in front. Nicely done, that Trojan front wall, very imposing. Yeah, Skripchak is so clever in that service game with the low line drive and that high floater. Now the left-handed serve from the Lakers. The Trojans keeping it alive. Here's Torres from long range, just a little bit too far. And I guess Brianna Torres is human.
That was the look the Trojans wanted. Torres with the back row hit. Just a little too much power.
Yeah, she will fire from any range. And this one now barreling into the net from Emily de Blecourt. So Trinity scoring their 20th of the set. They can smell blood in the water right now with their, arguably their best server, Vujocevic, back up to go. This one battered down in front. Vujocevic has the dig. Skripchak setting it back for Vujocevic. And now the block by the Trojans in front, but the Lakers work it back over. Wheeler has to just loft it on over the twine. Now long-range strike for Cofield, diving effort. Great dig by Freeman, and Torres, back corner, puts it away. What a tremendous sequence by the Trojans. Vujocevic, nice sidewinding dig. Torres guiding it towards Wheeler. Wheeler blasting away, comes back to the Trojans. Wheeler, and now Romero firing away and unable to clear the net. So Teresa Romero has been a little inconsistent tonight. She's done so many great things for these Trojans this season, and her teammates picking her up as they still are up by 7 here in this set. Looking to close it out. Henry. Freeman has got it. Skripchak setting up Vujocevic with a nice touch. Ooh. And this thing is in the books. Boy, that was a beautiful bit of touch from Lana Vujocevic. Sophomore hailing from Secaucus, New Jersey, and one of the stars of this Roosevelt team. Now here's Vujocevic, and that was off the hand of Marisheva. A wry smile on her face as she tried to leave it go, but did get a fingertip on it. So the kill will be credited to Vujocevic as Desiree Passono checks in. The Trojan service specialist lofts it up. Tough to handle here, but the Lakers do. Here's Skripchak quickly in sync to Romero. And Trinity is out in front 8-7. Whether it's Romero or Madison Williams who is positioned front and center, Anna Skripchak has got such a terrific connection with those two. As now this one lobbed in by Passono. Service ace for the Trojan senior. A great moment for a terrific player who, again, much like Gallegos, isn't able to feature prominently every single night, as she records another one right there. Back-to-back aces for Desiree Passono. Stepping up in a big way after being honored in the pregame festivities tonight. A player who just excels in her role. Could she go for the hat trick here? And this one's just wide, as she tried to drop it down on the right sideline. Nonetheless, a pair of aces from Passono. When your service run would function as a pretty decent poker hand, I'd say you did a darn good job. This one lofted over the middle. Lunging effort by Torres, who springs to her feet and puts it back over. And now this one slammed down by de Blacourt, who we're seeing feature prominently here in this third set, keeping the Lakers close. Now the libero, Pastrabas to serve it. Skripchak setting up Vujocevic. And you cannot leave that much empty space for Alana to work with. She absolutely tomahawks that one down and has Trinity out in front by 2. Now here's Skripchak. Well, folks, we are back in the building tonight once again here at Van Dixhorn Arena, home of the TIU Trojans, where the Trojans will continue their CCAC slate with a battle against the Red Hawks of Indiana University at Northwest. The Trojans have had a very solid season overall. They are 20-8 on the campaign, though they have lost 2 of their last 3 CCAC matches, looking to get back on track here after they lost to a team that's been their kryptonite this year in Indiana University South Bend. Now they get a chance against another Indiana University school. These 2 teams met up earlier in the season, and the Trojans did claim the victory, so they'll look to do so once more on home turf in this conference match. Out there for the Trojans, it's the usual suspects. You've got Alana Vujocevic and Nadia Wheeler on the outside. Jalen Freeman will check in as the libero for TIU. Anna Skripchak, their typical setter, is in the lineup tonight as well, as is Brianna Torres, the Trojan star and their leading killer on the season. Also back out there for TIU, the freshman Teresa Romero. Here's the first serve of the game. We are underway. Skripchak setting it forward for Vujocevic. Fended off fairly easily on this occasion. Now here's a long-range effort. Great dive by Freeman to keep it alive, and Skripchak hoists it back over. Now the Red Hawks going to work once more. Routine dig with the palms up from Lana. Now a sharp angled effort from Wheeler to get it back to the Red Hawks side. Nice effort by Freeman to keep this one alive as Torres hounds it down. Still we play on, but now miscommunication. That'll be a fourth touch and the first point to the TIU Trojans. So Trinity weathers the storm here and has got this thing back on level terms here in set number 1. Pasono down the sideline, comes back to TIU, and it's battered down out in front. I believe the kill granted to Teresa Romero as Trinity pulls back into the lead. So now TIU will turn to Torres to try to finish things off in the second set. 22-16, Trojans out in front. Out in front, it is Markusik. Now Torres from deep. Torres finishes it. Amalishka de Jesus lofting it over the middle, but Freeman's on the case. Now de Jesus, a nice turning dig to ward off the effort by Vujocevic, but Bria Strezo unable to get enough on that thing, and the Trojans have got set point number 2. Desiree Pasono checking in, the Trojan service specialist, looking to put things away and give the Trojans a commanding 2-0 sets advantage. She lobs it over the middle. Out of sync was Markusik, but still able to get it over. Now improvising Romero, but somehow hanging on were the Red Hawks. Here's Torres from deep, looking to put an end to it, but it's a little bit too far from Brianna Torres, who has had an outstanding night and an outstanding season for the Trojans, but can't put things away there. Here is Markusik, but first a quick substitution for TIU. They've got most of their starters out there, but also Gallegos. And this one comes up short, and set number 2 belongs to the Trojans. Here goes Freeman. Dig by Chloe Roberts. And now this one blocked in front by the Trojans, but it does come back to the Red Hawks. Now here's Trinity Vujocevic. And this one out in front. And easy money for Brianna Torres. Boy, there's no better feeling than when an opponent's dig comes right past the net just barely and you're able to just slam it down. That was the case with Torres. It's the closest thing to the slam dunk in the sport of volleyball, and it's always a lot of fun. Now the Red Hawks scrambling but unable to get there was the setter Van Domlin, and the Trojans have taken a punch and counterpunched in tremendous fashion. They lead 4-1. They, much like the Trojans, have kept positive vibes through the thick and thin all night long and are putting up an impressive fight against a highly powered Trojan squad. Now here's Porter shoveling it forward. This one battered down, but a good block back to the Red Hawks. Nice effort by Acosta to keep it alive. Porter luffs it on back down. Skripchak rising up for the dig this time. Here's Acosta from deep, right on the back line. Perfectly placed by Isabella Acosta. And the Trojans have doubled up IUNW. It's 18-9. Oh, folks, it is that time once again as your TIU Trojans back here at Van Dixhorn Arena will look to continue their tremendous season and improve on their 17-5 mark in a conference clash against the Tigers of Olivet Nazarene. Well, it's the usual suspects, of course, for the Trojans. The names we always throw out there, Torres, Skripchak, and Freeman. But also another one to keep an eye on, Lana Vujocevic had a terrific week. She was named the CCAC Attacking Player of the Week averaging 4.4 kills per set while hitting .245. She's been absolutely terrific, and the Trojans will continue to feed her early and often in this one. Well, there's the whistle, and away we go here. The serve. Olivet scrambling to grab it, and now this one hit a little too far and hard by Sophia Johnston, one of the many talented freshmen that Olivet will rely on tonight. This Olivet team, a solid squad coming into town tonight, but they definitely lack some experience, something that the Trojans don't suffer from. Though Olivet's able to claw one closer there, it's 10-5 in favor of TIU here in set number 1. As here is Amber Jacobs, set to get set number 2 started for IUSB, and there's that energy once again coming from the Trojan bench. Dig by Freeman, set by Skripchak, setting up Romero. She's rejected, but the play will continue here. Freeman, now Torres with another go from deep. IUSB finally able to corral. Isabella Acosta out there to start set number 2 with that dig. Lofted over by Wheeler. Here's a push here, and an athletic effort by TIU to keep that thing up by Acosta and Skripchak. Now Freeman laying out. The Trojans just finding a way, and they eventually whittle down the resolve of the Titans and get on the scoreboard first. Would love to see a little bit of breathing room for TIU, but it has been hard to come by for both teams all evening long. Torres the dig here. Skripchak setting up Williams. She'll just punch it over. And this one clobbered into the wall. The Trojans denying it. Vanderort. Gallegos now with it. Here's Williams off the Skripchak set. She's repelled in front. IUSB has a lot of players with a lot of height that provide an imposing presence in the middle. And it's thrown the Trojans for a loop on a couple occasions today, though they've still managed to have several solid kills on the evening. Here's Vujošević going right at that wall and just slamming it through the block. The Trojans once again with the lead. So set point number 3 for TIU, looking to finish things. Torres with the dig. Skripchak a back set, but not too much on it from Acosta. Now nice dig by Freeman. Little too much juice on it, and they're unable to work it back over as it careens into the net. Skripchak and Romero did all they could to get that thing back over to the Titan side, but unable to do so. So IUSB is showing what they're made of here, providing some resistance as they've scored the last 3. Trojans still up by 3. Their 4th set point. Here goes Torres, and she puts it away. So the Trojans looking to the veteran Torres. Yes. And she answers the call, and we are going to a winner-take-all set number 5. Whitney Gessinger back to serve it. This one barely climbing over the net. Now having a go is Mackenzie Powell, as that one, the dig attempt by Williams, wandered over the net, and Powell pinpoints it in the back corner. So it is match point for IUSB. The Trojans facing the daunting task. They need 8 in a row. Here's Vujošević trying to get the first of those. Powell puts it over. Vujošević just managing to fist it over. Torres, good dig by Vanderort. Now here's the effort from Jacobs. Getting there is Gallegos. Vujošević and Torres slamming it back on down. An extended point here. Jacobs with some loft. Williams recovering. Skripchak setting up Torres one more time. Vanderort with the answer. Jacobs slamming away. Good dig by Freeman. Skripchak setting up Williams. She slipped but still manages to get it over. Freeman with the dig with her palms up. Now Torres slamming away. And Torres with the finish to keep Trinity alive. Boy, the tension was mounting for that entire sequence. And so impressive with TIU with their backs to the wall, knowing that any errant touch could be their last, finding a way to score it. And Brianna Torres, the veteran, standout, the all-world outside hitter, finding a way to keep it alive. Now Torres in the service. Here's a nice dig by Gallegos toward the net, and it is stuffed down in front. and down on the Trojan side, and that is going to conclude matters here in this one. In what was a terrific, hard-fought contest between these two conference powerhouses, the IUSB Titans emerge victorious. So a rare loss for the Trojans. They will fall to 13-4 on the campaign. A minor setback in what's been an extremely impressive season for these Trojans, and they showed their fight tonight. It was a great effort from this team, no doubt about it. Well, the Trojans so far responding nicely to the clapback from the Fighting Saints as the Saints claim the third set, denying the Trojan bid for their third straight conference straight sets victory. Now Gallegos taking something off on this serve. A nice dig by Emma. And here's Torres. The little loft on it. Oliveira has it. Deep attempt, but Vujošević with it, trying to navigate her way around the official stand is Skripczak, but unable to quite get there in time. Pacheco with the serve. Gallegos digging it out one more time. Skripczak trying to set up Romero, but she's stuffed. Now Torres. And you can get used to seeing that, Trojan fans. They are going to feed Brianna Torres early and often in this contest, as they look to their trusty veteran, the fifth-year star, for their first points of the evening. This one tipped over and out of play, so the Trojans with back-to-back points as they've weathered the storm, trying to stack up some momentum here tonight. The Trojans have already had a 5-game winning streak this year, remarkably enough. They are 10-2 on the season in the midst of a tremendous year. If they win tonight, that would set a new high watermark for the team. Their 6th consecutive victory. Now laying out Pasano, nice dig. And Vujošević with a little bit of arc on it. The Trojans sniffing this set victory here. Lofted up, Vujošević. Skripczak right where she wants it. Williams battering it down, and that'll do it. The energy and intensity has picked back up once again with the Trojans going on a run here. Pritz putting it over the middle. Pacheco. A deep set for Novakovic. Now here's Keltner. And Keltner records the kill, stepping up in a big moment for TIU. Timeout, Governor State. So the Trojans are back in business. They respond to the first adversity they've really faced since falling down 5-0 in the first set. Their first real adversity in a long time, all night, and they have responded to it brilliantly. Acosta and Keltner, a couple of talented newcomers stepping up. They are not afraid of the pressure and the bright lights, and that is on display for all to see here at Van Dixhoorn tonight. Well, folks, welcome aboard here on this unseasonably warm October day. The sun is shining brightly, and your TIU Trojans are back in town here at Shartner Field to take on the Titans of Indiana University South Bend. This is Ethan Oskroba. I will be with you this afternoon for what should be a pretty fun contest, a conference battle. Your Trojans on the season have just a 2-8-1 record, but they faced a lot of quality competition, and they've really fought valiantly given how short-handed they've been in terms of their roster, a pretty shallow roster already. And they've dealt with injuries, they've dealt with players missing for a variety of reasons. They had to forfeit a couple of games ago to Cardinal Stritch, but fought back nicely for their homecoming battle this past Saturday, losing just 2-1 to a talented Roosevelt team. IUSB, on the other hand, has not been off to a great start this year, to put it lightly. They are 0-10 on the season, and they've been outscored 75-1 combined throughout those contests. They scored their first goal in a 4-1 defeat last time around, so a couple of teams that are looking to remedy a slow start to the season, and we are underway. Immediately pestering up front is Sarah Crick, the outstanding freshman striker. Now Zoe Vian has it for TIU. There's Siragusa getting her first touch as she plays it to the back line. Kinsey Gomez, the fifth-year veteran for TIU, will probe the right sideline, but it's got a little too much gusto on it as it finds its way out of play. Olsen, just her second goal on the season after scoring 12 last year. She's really looking to get going, and that'll be perhaps a nice start to help her generate a bit of momentum. The Trojans are going to need her this season. Here's Siragusa with it, playing it back to Crescencia Kerr. Kerr with time and space, playing it back. That's Elizabeth Bayert getting involved. Now Kerr will thread it through to Siragusa. She's got some room to roam here. Siragusa trying to work her way into the box, now playing it out wide. Here's another cross and headed across the face, dangerously so, but Siragusa was unable to get a clean foot on it. Now another shot coming in, and it is saved by Caitlin Paul, the Titan keeper. Gomez with a little bit of time through to Soriaga. Give and go as Gomez works her way into the attacking half. Now down the sideline looking for Busick, who's transformed her role to become a much more prominent player on the offensive end for the Trojans this year. Here's Soriaga. Soriaga whipping it in there. Olsen on it again, but it steers its way free. One of the most difficult things that a keeper has to do is deciding when to come off that line, and it can lead to some pretty embarrassing mistakes, but it's a heck of a lot easier said than done. They're expected to be routine calls, but sometimes the margin of whether or not to come off can be razor thin and make you look silly if you're wrong either way, in addition to potentially adding a tally to the opponent on the score sheet. So those are high-stakes plays, and they're a heck of a lot harder than they look. You can't blame Paul too much, but good work by her defenders to back her up on that occasion. This one's played out wide into space for Wasink. Wasink with a nice centering touch. Gets it to Kerr, who's been very active. A lot of offenses run through her. Now this one in front, and it works its way in. The strike and the score from Sydney Matthews coming off the bench to make it 3-0 Trojans. Her efforts do yield the Trojans a corner. Abigail Olsen set to take it. Olsen hooking it in, a low one with some precision. I believe that was Busick who had a good go at it. Pings around now, here's a deep shot by Bayert, and what a save by Paul. A terrific long-range effort by Elizabeth Bayert. Denied by a full extension two-handed save from Caitlin Paul. So Paul has stood firm on a couple of these Trojan attempts. A couple of really impressive saves. But she's had a pretty inconsistent afternoon. She's also been a little bit indecisive and has had a couple of misplays. So a really interesting sequence. Now this one put in for McAleer. Stepping through Soriaga. And this one crossed in front by Crick. Now with it is Olsen. Olsen through to McAleer. It's in! It is in! And it's 4-1 TIU. McAleer off the bench to score it for the Trojans. A terrific sequence from TIU and their substitutes getting all the love today. Sydney Matthews with the goal in the first half, and now Olivia McAleer finding the back of the net for TIU. Marsh belts it with her right foot, hooking it in there, but Gomez stepping in front. And now another header by Gomez to get it out of danger momentarily. The Titans retaining possession for the moment. This one working its way toward the goal. Dangerous chance out in front. A slide by Davis and a spoil by Olsen. So the Trojans hold firm. Alrighty, folks. Well, it is that time of year again. It's the Trojan men's soccer opener for this season. Your TIU Trojans are going to be taking on the Pilots from Bethel University this afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon, sunny but a little bit hot, so the heat definitely should be somewhat of a factor today. Some of the key players for the Trojans to keep an eye on. Xavier Brown back in uniform for the Trojans this season, the senior, a 6-goal scorer from last season. And then Johnny Mueller, who scored 5 tallies of his own last year. And then, of course, the promising goalkeeper, Armin Mamatovic, is back in goal. The big, imposing keeper. He's a sophomore, and his stock is only rising as he continues to play for TIU. Bethel in the blue, the Trojans wearing those grays today. And Bethel possessing it to start. Here's a deep ball in, but headed out of trouble for the moment. Now into the box, and Mamatovic will get his first touch of the day. Back there to take it is Eduardo da Silva for Bethel. He'll hook it in with his left foot. And they play it short instead to Sabino. Sniffing it out is Mueller, but they still get a good ball into the box. It caroms out harmlessly for the moment, and now Haywood flicking it on, trying to run onto it is Garside. But Bethel clears, however, a Trojan was taken out. And they play the free kick quickly. Maudsley into the box, and it is handled fairly easily by Popescu. Both men just trying to play the ball there, no malicious intent, and not significant enough contact for the officials to worry about a booking. Now they work it up the sideline. Connecting passes quickly here. It'll be a throw for the Pilots. Put into Marcos Estebarnes. The Trojans pick it off momentarily, but now a dangerous opportunity in the box. A big shot, but it's blocked down. Pereira had a good go at goal, but the Trojan wall holds firm, and that thing never made it to Mamatovic. Pacheco. De Castro with Brown in hot pursuit. The Pilots just completing these passes right now with remarkable efficiency. They're firing on all cylinders at the moment. Sabino. Back here to Da Silva. And the foul is going to go against Gabriel Pacheco, so the Trojans to take back possession here. Got a brief delay here, as I believe that's Pacheco after committing the foul. Going to retie his shoe and get back in the action. Here comes the free kick from Maudsley from just beyond the midfield stripe. He hits it deep, struck it very well, and it gets on goal. A little flick from Xavier Brown, but unable to get too much steam on it. It's a comfortable save in the end for the goalkeeper, Popescu. Not the way we wanted to see the Trojans start their season here, but certainly some positive signs. They had some good opportunities. They showed a lot of perseverance in this one. The final score of this one, it's the Bethel Pilots 5 and the TIU Trojans nothing. This is Ethan Oskroba. Thanks for hanging with us, and I'm signing off. We will see you again soon.